To me, being supernatural is to be able to change your body by thought alone. To say it another way, it means being greater than your body. Being supernatural also means overcoming challenges and conditions in your outer environment that most people would not be able to accomplish. In addition, being supernatural would also mean to be able to change some predictable future destiny or event. That is, to be greater than time. Now, is this something that's only reserved for ancient yogis, mystical masters, and superheroes? Is it fantasy, or is there medical proof that each human being has the potential to heal themselves and, in a sense, to become supernatural? In 1986, I had my own personal experience that forever changed my life. A serious injury forced me to meld together everything I knew from my scientific mind and my training to a greater level of understanding about the nature of reality and what is possible. Much of what I discovered was not found in conventional textbooks and mainstream science. In fact, I had to find answers for my own personal healing by delving into areas of science that point the finger at possibility. I want to invite you into a journey and a scientific study of your mind, your heart, and your body. I want to offer you a new way of concepting your brain. Think of your brain as 3 brains in one. You literally have 3 brains that allow you to go from thinking to doing to being. So let's start off with your first brain, called your neocortex. Your neocortex is the seat of your conscious mind. It's the largest and most evolved in human beings and dolphins. This is the part of your brain that plugs you into 3-dimensional reality. It's divided into different regions and different areas. So the front of the brain, called the forebrain, makes up 40% of your entire brain. It's the largest in human beings, and it's what separates us from all other species. The next closest species, gibbons and chimpanzees, their frontal lobe is about 14 to 17%, dogs about 7%, and cats about 3%. Now, the frontal lobe has been known to be called the area of executive function. But think of the frontal lobe as the CEO of the brain, or the symphony leader. The frontal lobe allows us to decide on action, to focus our concentration, to invent, to speculate, to have intention or attention. It's the area of our brain that restrains our emotional reactions or begins to speculate new possibilities. So think of your frontal lobe as the seat of your conscience or your creative center. Now, the rest of the brain is divided up into geography as well. For example, the back of your brain, called the occipital lobe or the visual cortex, is where you process sight or spatial orientation. There's strips in areas of your brain that allow you to feel certain things with your body, or to invoke or begin to initiate motor function or movement. There are areas of the brain that allow you to make long-term memories and to begin to distinguish between self and non-self. But the entire brain is mapped geographically, and think of that first brain as that part of the brain that allows you to learn new things and to have new experiences. So then, every time you learn something new, you make new connections in your brain. Learning is forging new synaptic connections. And some of the latest research in neuroscience that says that 1 hour of focused concentration on one concept or idea literally doubles the number of connections in your brain, literally produces physical evidence as a result of your interaction in the environment. So then all of this philosophy, this intellectual data, this theory, this knowledge is stored in that neocortex called your thinking brain. Now, the next step is to take that knowledge, that philosophy, and to begin to apply it, to personalize it, to demonstrate it, to initiate that knowledge in some way. And if you do this properly and you can get your behaviors to match your intentions, you can get your actions equal to your thoughts, you can get your mind and body working together, you're going to have a new experience. Now, when you're in the midst of an experience, all of your five senses plug you into the environment. And as all of that sensory information rushes back to your brain, jungles of neurons begin to organize themselves into patterns and networks. So then experience then enriches the philosophical circuits in your brain, and when those neurons begin to form into networks, the second brain, called the limbic brain, the emotional brain, the chemical brain, the mammalian brain, begins to make a chemical. And that chemical is called a feeling or an emotion. So the moment you feel unlimited, the moment you feel abundant, the moment you feel free from any experience, now you are teaching your body chemically to understand what your mind has intellectually understood. So we could say that knowledge is for the mind and experience is for the body. And in that moment, you are embodying the truth of that philosophy. And because there's new information coming in from the environment, you're literally beginning to change your genetic destiny by signaling new genes in new ways. If a person has an inner experience that has a profound emotion associated with it, they connect to that unifying field whose signature is oneness, it's wholeness, it's greater and greater degrees of love. They connect to that frequency, and that frequency is carrying information. And they're experiencing an inner event that is causing them to pay strong attention to what they're seeing in their mind because it's a new feeling. They're beginning to, in a sense, remember their future. The stronger the emotion they feel, the more they pay attention to the pictures in their mind, they're literally remembering their future. And when a person has an inner experience that is more profoundly energetic, that causes them to become more conscious, and they begin to pay attention to the pictures or the images in their mind, they're having a lucid moment. That experience is going to literally enrich the circuitry in their brain, reorganize the brain, and it's going to change them. At the same time, the elevated emotion that they're feeling is happening from an inner experience. But the end product of an inner experience is producing an arousal in the body, and the person is feeling a level of ecstasy, a level of exuberance, a level of love, a level of joy. And in an instant, the stronger the elevated emotion that they feel, the higher the frequency of that emotion, the shorter amount of time it can change the body, because it's a very strong signal coming to the cell. And we begin to upregulate the genes for health, that's a greater level of order, and we begin to downregulate the genes for disease and begin to create order in the body. And so people are doing that, not waiting for their healing to feel those emotions. They're working themselves up into a state where they're feeling those emotions, and the body is objective. It's the unconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between the outer experience or the inner experience. Through the body, it's exactly the same. So the person's getting a biological upgrade in a matter of seconds, and genes begin to make different proteins, and the structure and the function of the body change, because that's what happens when we change.